Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. My name is Caitlin, and it is an early morning in the garden. So I just made my cup of tea, or my cup of coffee. And typically I sit down with my coffee and I watch a YouTube video, and then enjoy my morning. Not today. We're going to enjoy our morning, but not watching a YouTube video. We are right in the midst of the start of a massive heat wave. So actually, let's back up. We have had nothing but rain for the last 2+ weeks. It has rained inches per day. It has been insane. We were in a drought, so I hope we're not in a drought anymore because we have gotten so much rain. It is unreal. This coffee is good. So because of that, I haven't been out here to be able to do anything. And so first of all, everything is growing like crazy. You can see back here, this is my beet bed. You can't even honestly see the beets anymore. It's just weeds. So wow. But then right here, I'll turn you around. We cut our onion tops. Let me turn you around. We cut these onion tops. That's a weed, not what we want. But I don't want to disturb the onion. We cut these onion tops about 2 weeks ago, and they are already massive again. Everything is growing. Weeds and plants alike, everything is growing like crazy. So I came out yesterday and turn you back this way. So if you watched my garden tour, this whole area was filled with thistle. The thistle went the whole way down to the end of the garden. I came out yesterday and there's actually still one bag there. And I filled up two 55-gallon bags with thistle. I pulled all the thistle out from that area and I pulled thistle the whole way down the garden. So I do need to come and I'm going to lay plastic. I have a couple of big sheets of black plastic. I'm going to lay that over that area to try to kill the thistle. This is the holly bush. I need a chainsaw to try to take down. So I still have some things we gotta do with it. However, we have to move our attention now to our tomatoes. So before all of this rain, my tomatoes were just starting to get to the top, or just starting to get to the bottom of the trellis, and now they are way over it. Number one. Number two, they've never been pruned, so we need to prune them. And then number three, so that's my priority. We need to do the tomatoes. But we're out here early today because it's going to get so hot today. Like I said, today's the start of a week-long massive heat wave. 99+ degree temperatures. I don't work in those temps. I'm sorry. I don't do the heat. So I'm out here early to try to get this done. And then we've also had a lot of storms. Let me see if I can capture all of the stuff that has happened in one little shot. So we've had a ton of storms and we have some damage that we need to fix. So the first thing first is my hollyhock. This hollyhock has fallen over. I have some string. I'm going to tie it. I have massive sunflowers over there. I have a massive sunflower over there. They're all laying over. So I have some string. See, this one's laying over. I'm going to tie these guys up so they're stringing up again. Because just with the wind and the storms that we got, everything just kind of fell over. So we also want to get to that today. So we're going to get started on that. Ignore all of the weeds. Like I said, normally I keep a much better control on my garden than this. The big thing I can control is the thistle, but I keep control of the grasses. If you look down here, where my squash is, right down here, these are my butternut squashes, and there is just a ton of just grass. Normally I keep a better handle on that. However, again, it's just been raining for 2 weeks, and I need some time to kind of counteract it. So we're going to get some more straw this weekend or this week, and we'll put that straw down and hopefully try to keep these weeds at bay. But the rain has just absolutely fed all of the weeds. Okay, I'm going to put this beautiful coffee down. I really don't want to, but we got to get this going. I got a lot of work to do and only a little bit of time to do it before it starts getting too warm. So we're going to go as far as we can today, and if we need to come back tomorrow morning or this evening, we'll do that. So let's turn you around. Let's get started. I also have a whole bunch of zucchini. I see a whole bunch of zucchini flowers, so I need to go check them before the day is done. Or before our project is done, so that I can make sure that I'm pollinating everything. I got these clips at the dollar store. They work really, really great. And so I'm just going to put a whole bunch on my shirt just to make life a little bit easier. And then start clipping and cutting when needed. Okay. This one's actually not looking too bad. He's growing up here pretty nicely. I got an awful thistle right here. Oh, get out, please. We don't want your kind. So the reason that you want to prune tomatoes is you want your tomatoes to have really good airflow. Got some weeds here too. You want tomatoes to have really good airflow. If you don't have airflow, you're going to get diseases. And pruning is not, first of all, pruning is not my strong suit. But then secondly, I've never had good luck, I guess is the word, with even trellising tomatoes. Oops, no. Every time I try to trellis tomatoes, I wind up with a massive, massive mess on my hands. So everyone else does this cattle panel system. So I am trying it to see if I have better luck this year. And so I'm just taking and attaching the stems, to the trellis so they grow up. If not, they will grow out. Tomatoes definitely need some sort of support. You have to attach them so they grow up and not out, because they will lay on the ground if you let them. And then the pruning. So you prune the suckers. I don't actually see that many suckers. We're actually gonna we're gonna do some things. So you can do a heavy prune where you actually, instead of having multiple branches, you have your tomatoes have one or two main leaders, which means, let's say this is the main tomato and it's rooted in the ground. This is 1 leader. You can have a tomato that will have 2 of these. You can prune it down to 1 or 2. Right now, I have so many coming up on this tomato. I just don't even know where to freaking cut. Because I'm always nervous. Like, I know, I'm always nervous that I'm gonna like cut too much and I'm not gonna get enough tomatoes. Let's take you off. But you want to take off these extra leaves, and I am cutting leaves that have some blossoms on them. But that should force the tomatoes to put blossoms on the rest of these leaves. I don't honestly see a ton of suckers, which is surprising. I'm taking off leaves for airflow, and I'm taking off leaves that aren't doing anything because I want this energy to go into the plant. However, am I doing the right thing? Technically, yes. But that is hard. Okay, so I'm going to cut down all these leaves at the bottom. You don't want any leaves on the ground. That's one way you can get disease. Oh, I have leaves down here. Let's take all these down. Take all these leaves down so there's nothing down here. Here's a big leader. got a couple of thistles in there, which is annoying. So we gotta do more thistle pulling. But here was another leader, and it is set in tomatoes, which again, I hope I'm doing the right thing. Cutting them off. I know I am. I just don't like doing it. But you could actually take this and put this right in the ground, and it has all these little hairs, as you can see along the tomato stalk. They're roots. If you put this in the ground, it would root and grow more tomatoes. So it's free tomato plants. We gotta cut up that or tie up that asparagus too. The asparagus is having issues. And the storms, it all came falling over. Okay. It's hard to see what's going on with all the freaking weeds. See, look how many liters. This is a great example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of these are considered leaders that would grow up this plant. There's even some more down here. You could cut all of them off and only focus on one. You could cut all of them off and only focus on 1 or 2. We'll see how many survive. Because if I were to leave all of these, it would grow. There would be no airflow because they're all trying to grow up at the same time. There would be no airflow. Okay, let's pick the ones we want because I gotta cut. I gotta do some cutting. Okay, this one here is kind of where the plant is going. So let's put him here for now. I'm gonna take all this off down here. It wants to lay on the ground. Beautiful. And now we'll have airflow. So now I'm down to 4. And I'm just gonna kind of spread them out. Why is there another thistle? Perfect. And look at that yellow leaf. Already starting to have some diseases on this guy. So I'm gonna take off all of the affected leaves. And hopefully this will allow this guy to come back and be healthy. I don't need anything down here. We did a decent job, I think. My main thing was to get them leaning up against the trellis, which For the most part, they all are. Some got ahead of us. And we just got to kind of guide them back. They want to come this way, but we're guiding them back that way. And then I really tried to trim. I did a better job at the end here. Tried to trim off all the lower leaves, because the lower leaves aren't going to grow anything anyway. Well, they might, but if it's resting on the ground, it won't be any good. So I try to like clear off the lower stem. So it's just kind of a bald stem, and then the leaves start higher up. I need to get some straw and lay some straw down here to help control the weeds, and then I'll be able to see too easier. It's hard to tell because there's just so much green right now. It'll be easier to tell then what I need to take off. But it looks nice. Well, it actually doesn't look nice. It looks messy. I think it will be nice once we get it like really going. I have to come clean up all of the waste out of my path here. But now it's getting a little warmer. We're not out yet. I am drinking hot coffee. Now it's not that hot, but I'm not helping myself either. I acknowledge. But the only thing I want to do yet right now is I want to tie everything up that's fallen over. So I have string, scissors. Let's just start tying. Good coffee. So I just have some good old-fashioned twine. Apparently a very knotty piece of twine, but this will work great just to tie these things up to help give them a little bit more support. I have the habit of cutting string first and then measuring, and then it never works for me. So let's do this the smarter way. So I don't need this to be too tight. I just want it to give these plants support and go the direction you're supposed to go. So hopefully that sunflower will keep growing up. Let's go to our hollyhock. Oh, darling. She just started to bloom, and then she had to fall over. So let's yank you up, and let's go around here. Oh, she really took a beating. So we'll see if that helps her at all. She really took a beating. But most of these, like these back two stems, are broken. Hopefully these two will bloom. She puts off really pretty pink flowers. When I have my black hollyhock going. And the only thing I don't know about hollyhock, someone have to tell me if this is normal. All of my hollyhock leaves, when they're blooming, the leaves die. So I'm going to be like, that's such a pretty hollyhock. But it looks like it's dead. But they are all doing it. I should probably try to Google that. Why, when they bloom, do their leaves die? That's bizarre to me. Okay, let's go get our Mac Daddy sunflower. And then we gotta do one more sunflower and asparagus. Let's go do that. This big boy has fallen over, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to attach him to anything. He is so big and brilliant. Well, I think he may pull this guy over with him, but let's try it. I'm so mad. I saw him come down in the storm. I was so mad. Okay, well that one at least is gonna take out that one. Let's go Okay, that one might hold. That might hold now. Okay. That one might hold it up now. Look how tall they are. Like, I could literally stand under here like a little umbrella. Isn't that fun? I gotta swap out. Let's take you off. I gotta swap out her collar for her sunflower collar, which will be perfect for right there with those beautiful sunflowers. Aren't they just massive? You can even see the top of them. Look how tall they are. I am obsessed. And they're volunteers, and I'm obsessed. You put that there. And that is our asparagus forest. And I don't really know how I'm tying this. So you need to leave these fronds. Ooh. And they set seed. And then you have asparagus. Come on, where's my hand? You have asparagus for next year. So I don't cut these fronds down until February. But right now, they are just wildly in the way. And they've never actually been this in the way before. Like, this is crazy how big they are. I don't know why they've never been an issue before. But they have never been an issue before. But now, I just want to get them up and out of the way. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, there we go, okay. 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 We got the lower half up. Now, let's get the upper half. My beautiful roll of twine. It's not a roll anymore. It is a mess. Okay. Okay. And the nice thing about twine is I think after one season, with the sun that I get, this twine will break down and just fray apart. So, so I'm not really worried about that twine being an issue to come out. It'll break down. Okay, I got one more sunflower. We'll go over and do that. And we'll call this a day. Getting warm. Not quite. Not too bad. Like, I can still do work here. Probably like maybe just 80 degrees. Maybe. Probably not even that. So we're fine. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. This one is going to be easy to tie up because I can tie it right to this post here. Okay. I'm going to call that done. Okay, I'm just going to go butter around, do a couple little other things. But I'm going to call that a day for today. I'm going to go sit in the pool the rest of the day and just kind of enjoy the inside. And we might be out here later this evening doing stuff. We have so much weeding to do, honest to John. All of this rain, the weeds are just, and I hate the weeds. I think we all hate the weeds, but it really makes me feel like, you ever get that feeling where like you have company coming over and your house isn't clean enough or it doesn't look presentable enough? That's how I feel about the garden all the time. When there are this many weeds, I'm just like, that's not a good look, Caitlin. But it's the rain, so Give me a couple of days and I'll get this under control again. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.